Good morning. It is June 1st, 2022, and I am a little hesitant to tell this story, but I think that it's time. This happened about a week ago on May 21st, and it was kind of one of those things that was a real big wake up call um, in my life, and uh, it was pretty scary. At least it was for me. So, my mitochondrial myopathy, it creates energy problems with my body, which means that sometimes I don't have a whole lot of energy in a day. Maybe some of you have heard the concept of spoons. So spoons are referring to energy. Um, and a lot of people who are disabled refer to spoons. And if you ever hear someone say, I don't have any spoons left, it means there's no more energy, and they need to rest. So anyway, the concept goes something like if an average healthy person starts the day off with 10 spoons, like 10 units of energy, and throughout the day loses spoons. So do people who have disabilities. But sometimes people with disabilities um, don't start out with 10 spoons. I would say I probably start on a really good day. I probably start with, oh, about I think if I start with 7 spoons, I'm doing pretty good. But there are days that I start with 3 to 5 spoons of energy, and as you lose spoons, you need to rest. So let's see. Like right now, I would say first thing in the morning, I would say I today I think I have about 5 or 6 spoons, which is good. That means I'm having a good morning. So anyway, on this particular day, I had been pretty busy during the day, and it was it was sometime in the afternoon, and I decided to take a nap because I was out of spoons. So I went to bed, and I fell fast asleep. I was so fatigued from doing chores. I had been doing some spring cleaning. And so I went fast asleep. And in the middle of sleeping, I mean, I was so out that I was out. I mean, no concept of what was going on around me at all. All of a sudden, I wake up with a start and I can't breathe. It's like my lungs have shut off. And this was not asthma. There was no constricting. It was just like they decided to stop. And um, I slowly was able to breathe again, but I was so disoriented that I like got up out of bed and kind of stumbled around. My legs weren't working properly. I was stumbling around trying to breathe and coughing along the way, and just trying to catch my breath, being very confused about what was going on. I was stumbling around my room, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is it. I'm dying. I'm going to die. My mitochondrial myopathy has decided to shut off my lungs, and this is it. I'm going to die here, and they're going to find me dead in my room on Wednesday when they come to clean my room. And anyway, that thought really, really scared me, and I was struggling to recover and breathe. And I found my phone, my smartphone, and tried to work it, and I was so disoriented that I couldn't quite work my smartphone. And it was all I could do to find my text thing and text my friend in another hallway saying, I said something to the extent of, help, I'm in my room, I need help. And her son had happened to be visiting from New York. So she and her son come barreling over to my room. I had made sure to unlock my door so that they could get in. Um, and but at the time they got to my room, I was still gasping for breath and coughing so hard that I was almost throwing up, and just really kind of out of it. And Margaret was telling me, so what's wrong? What's wrong? And I was still gasping for breath, going, I don't know. And I, hadn't thought to call 911, but if I had, it would have been too difficult for me to answer the questions or even dial the frickin' phone. So anyway, she said, "Do you want us to call 911?" And I nodded yes. And then, so her son got on the phone and called an ambulance, and they came and got me. So, it was, I've never ridden in an ambulance before. That was an interesting experience. But they took me to the hospital. I was in the emergency room, and a doctor came in and checked me out. They ran for several hours. They ran every kind of test they could imagine. They scanned my lungs. They scanned my heart. They checked for uh, blood clots. They checked, just about everything, and all the tests came back normal. So while I was waiting in between tests, I called my mom in Montana and told her what was going on, and told her the results of the tests I had gotten so far, that everything was normal so far. And she said, "Well, what uh, have you been doing a lot of activity lately?" And I said yes. And she said, "Well, it was probably your fatigue and your mitochondrial myopathy acting up." And I was like, yeah, I agreed with her. I thought that was what it was too. So it was a really scary experience. um, not being able to breathe when you're like, I'm not underwater, I should be able to breathe. It was really scary. I mean, it was just like a switch just went off, just, and it I thought I was going to die. I really thought I was going to die. Um, so I don't know if you can call that a near-death experience, but it was certainly very scary, and it really opened my eyes to how I've really got to protect my health by not overdoing my physical exertion. And this is the kind of thing that I have difficulty explaining to other people who don't have a disability or anything like this, is that I have to budget my energy the way a lot of people budget time and money, um, because I don't start off with very much energy to begin with. So, like I said, if a healthy person starts with 10 spoons, then usually at my best, I'm at about a 7 starting the day. And so anyway, that was just a really scary experience, and kind of a wake up call for me to stop trying to do so much for myself. The other thing is, my mom and I talked, and I'm going to get one of those like life alert buttons to hang around my neck, because if anything like that happens again, I experienced it now, that it would be too difficult to try to get my phone to work, because I'd probably be in confusion if this happened again in the future, or if anything like it happened. So I'm going to purchase a life alert, one of those life alert subscriptions, and get that. My mother has one, and she's used it 3 different times already. So I think that that's going to be a good investment for my safety and my health. But anyway, I'm glad I survived that. Um, I wanted to wait to talk about it till I had properly processed the whole thing, and yeah, I'm still processing because it was really scary. But guess what? I'm still alive. Yay! um, but yeah, so those of you that hang out with me, it would be helpful for me if you just have an understanding of my energy needs. And there have been times when I've been out with people and I say, no, I need to go home now. And, like I was at an event for on Sunday for Memorial Day at the Metropolitan Community Church here. And I I stayed for as long as I felt like I had energy to stay, and then I had to kind of cut it short. And I told the pastor that I had to go, and she said, "Oh, well, if you wait a half an hour, I can give you a ride home." And I said, "Thank you, but no, I've got to call an Uber and go home now." Um, and I did. I was exhausted, and by the time the Uber got me home, I was dragging. Oh, and the Uber driver was one of the chatty ones. And usually I like the chatty drivers, but I was not feeling good. And the driver just kept wanting to chat with me. And I'm like literally falling asleep in his back seat, trying not to be rude, listening to his story with my eyes closed and responding if I could. But I was dozing off at some point. I totally didn't hear half the stuff he said. And I was just in my head, I was like, please just get me home. Get me home. I want to go to bed. So, anyway, so that's my scary story from this past week. Um, but I'm doing okay now. I had a couple of smaller episodes of something similar, but not quite so severe. I could still breathe and I understood what was going on, and I just knew that I had to stop what I was doing and rest. So I'm doing better with that. So, anyway, um, I think that I'm going to end it here. So, this is Lady Lioness and Friends signing off.